Hello. This is a brief tutorial to show you how to use library resources to research a publication, a magazine, a journal, something like that. What if you need to just go through and look at a journal, look at past issues, look at trends within the journal? This shows you how to do that. I'm going to go over a couple of things. First of all, my name is Becky, and I'm one of the librarians here at Maag Library. And if you're watching this during the pandemic, don't try to call me. That's why I didn't put my phone number up there. I have an extension at the university, but I'm almost never at my office. So email is the best way to reach me. If you have any questions about any of the resources that you're going to see in this video, please just let me know. In brief, I'm going to go over these four things. Just basic internet and Google Scholar searches, taking that information and putting it into our research databases in Maag Journal Finder, finding older physical issues using Maag Library and OhioLINK resources, and finally, for those really tough to find items, I'm going to show you the interlibrary loan process. Okay? So, in general, when you know the name of the periodical that you're trying to find, whether you've gone out to Google Scholar and found a citation to an article that you really need, but the journal wants you to pay for it, or you find a really good citation at the end of another article. If you've got a periodical of any type that you're trying to find, the best place to go is here, Maag Journal Finder. And for this tutorial, for this example, I'm going to use a very famous children's literature publication, the Hornbook. And in our databases, we seem to have from the 90s to the present, either 90 or 93. So I can go to any one of these databases and I can browse all of the issues of this journal back to 1990. So here's the most recent issue. And all of the 136 articles that were in this volume of this issue of this periodical are here online. And I can look at them in either HTML or PDF format. I always prefer the PDF because you get the pictures and the pagination. So here is the entire article, just as it appeared in the journal. There's a couple of nice features in these databases. On the right-hand side, there's a little yellow piece of paper. That's a citation feature. And, as with any other electronically generated citation, you should take it with a grain of salt. You should really look at this and make sure that it is actually done in correct APA format. But it is there, and I encourage people to keep lists, keep a little bibliography going of your own so that you don't lose track of your resources. The other thing is this little chain over here. This is a permalink. A lot of people get confused. This URL up at the top of the screen where you would think, if I want to save this article, I should copy and paste that link. That doesn't actually do it. You need to click on permalink, and then here in this box, this is the URL that will actually get you back to this article. It's a tiny thing, but you don't need, 20 useless URLs that don't go anywhere after you've done all your research and you get really frustrated. So just remember, permalink. This will actually get you back to this article. Okay? So I can do that with, again, any article back to the 90s. That's what we have online. However, even a cursory Google search, I just went to Google and put in Hornbook magazine. Even just a cursory search tells me that this publication has been around since the 20s, the 1920s. So, I know it goes back a lot further than what I can get online. And, just because I want to be thorough, I always look it up also in Google Scholar, which is, a fancier, nicer version of Google. It's going to give you, it's going to look in academic sources and not just, general Wikipedia type stuff. And just a cursory glance down here, here's something I might want to put a pin in for later, the Hornbook Index. Indexes are great. Indices are fantastic. This will tell you what was in the Hornbook from 1924 to 1989. So, over 80,000 references, Fantastic. So this is a book. We're gonna think about that. So, where do we get these older issues? Where do we find the 1920s, for example? Well, here in Maagnet, we can do a title search for the same publication. Okay. And here we go. This looks promising. Okay, these are older issues. Whoops, I'm logged in as a staff person. I was logged in as staff. Let's try it again. Okay. So this is telling me that we have on site, we have from 1991 to 2014. In our basement on-site storage, we have from the 40s to the 60s. Okay. And we have the periodicals on the 6th floor go from, this is their call number. So in ordinary times, you could go upstairs and grab, as many copies of as many volumes of this periodical as you wanted. But it says status ask at reference, and that is because now during the pandemic, our stacks are closed to the public. You can't actually go up and grab books off the shelf. So what you do instead is at the top of every Maagnet record, there is a request hold button, and you click that and you tell it where you're from, and I'm sorry, not where you're from, your name and your YSU ID number, and then it asks you, what do you want? If you are looking at like the entire run of a journal and you want like 10 volumes of this publication, your best bet is to just ask me. I will, I'm a staff person. I'll go upstairs. I will grab your journals. And I'll put them on a cart for you. We will work it out. But if that's what you want to do, I would let me know. However, if it's just one book that you want, you fill this out and we'll go get it for you. It's like getting an OhioLINK book. And speaking of OhioLINK books, remember that index that we were going to look for? Well, let's see if we've got it. And it's not called the Hornbook Magazine, it's the Hornbook Index. And looking in Maagnet, nope, we do not appear to have it. However, search OhioLINK. Aha, yes. Several libraries have this available, and to order it, your request is the same as any other OhioLINK request. You can click request. You tell it, this is where you tell it where you're from, Youngstown State. And then your name and your YSU ID number. I'm not going to order it, but that's how you do it. Okay, so this is more challenging than it usually is in non-pandemic times, but that is basically how you do it. You can use the internet and Google Scholar to get basic background information on your publication. You use Maag Journal Finder and the research databases to find what we have online. You use our physical library resources and OhioLINK to get any older editions that might not be available online. And finally, the last thing is interlibrary loan. If you're really, really stuck, if you cannot get anything online, or if we don't have it in Maag or it's not on OhioLINK, you can search through interlibrary loan, which is a process that we look outside the state for these resources, and we're very successful. So you click on request forms here on the homepage. This is interlibrary loan. You click on request forms, and then over here on the left, what is it? Is it a book? Is it a journal article, etc.? If it's a journal article, you click on it and you put in all of the information that you have about the article that you want, and you click submit. And that's it. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know, but that's basically it. So thank you very much and happy searching.